Hey guys, it's me. How's it going? So I've got a quick K's Digs video for you because obviously there's like a lot of stuff that's kicking off at the moment. You know, we've got the SpaceX rocket that sort of went, and I don't know if many of you caught it, but as the actual rocket landed back on that ship, it kind of glitched, and the gap between it breaking through the atmosphere and then landing on that ship was probably about 2.5 minutes. I know these things can land pretty fast, but I thought, yeah, that was just a little bit too much of a perfect landing for that short amount of time, and the glitch just wasn't necessary, you know what I mean? It didn't glitch on any other part than that, and I just found it really, really odd. But I didn't sort of read too much into it until I saw this tweet here from Beach Milk. I'm just going to play this for you guys. Now, the thing is, I'm going to try and put my mouse where the mouse is on the ship, because I'm pretty sure no living thing can survive in the vacuum of space, including a mouse, which is exactly what they found on this video. So it is a video of a video, and I'm doing, you know, the screen shot on this sort of for you, but I'm just going to play this because, you know, let me blow this up actually, because you might be able to see this a bit better if it's blown up. But yeah, just keep an eye, a close eye on this area here where my mouse is. Just keep a real close eye on that area there if you can see that, okay? Just watch this. Oh, it's loading. Being a bit awkward now. There we go.
Entry burn.
Meanwhile, that second stage continuing to power Dragon into orbit.
I don't care what you say, that is a mouse.
Continue to burn until 8 minutes and 44
Do you see that?
into flight. So a little over 2 minutes from now, we'll hear the call out.
That is fucking crazy, you guys. Seriously. Did you actually see that? Come on. Come out. I press escape. There we go. Did you see that? It was an actual fucking mouse. So, I mean, I'm not going to speculate anything at this point, but I am saying that this did look a little bit too staged for my liking anyway. I don't know if anybody else actually sort of questioned that at all. So, just moving on, I know a lot of people have sort of been questioning what's going on in the UK. So, I'm not going to show you the actual sort of coat of arms, but what I will tell you is a couple of weeks ago, we saw a live feed from Downing Street. Now, Downing Street uses the royal coat of arms, which it also appears on Buckingham Palace on the gates. And the thing is, a couple of weeks ago when Downing Street put out a live feed with the royal coat of arms, there was no writing on it. Normally the royal coat of arms includes, you know, the text and stuff like that. Q me say or something like that, it says. And a couple of weeks ago, the coat of arms was bare. It was bare. There was no writing on it at all. And then we got this video here. I'm just going to show you on the gate. They took it off.
And with the gate, the crest has gone. If we're going closer, you can see that the windows are all boarded up from the inside or covered or something. That's the first time that has ever happened. And the guys guarding the palace on the Royal Guards, they are Gurkhas. Gurkhas guarding the palace.
I just want to say something about that. The reason why this is so important is because, you know, especially for the Brits are going to understand this, but for the Americans, what you need to understand is the Royal National Guard have always, those Grenadier Guards have always stood guard at Buckingham Palace, and for the Gurkhas to be there guarding Buckingham Palace, this is a huge thing. I mean, this is something, and this is not in mainstream media at all, you know what I mean? So for one, we've got the crest that's been removed, and for two, where the hell are those guards? You know, they've got Gurkhas in place. I mean, this is just crazy, absolutely crazy. Not even in emergency circumstances do they switch the guard. Not even in exceptional. Not even if the world was ending. Nothing changes that. All of a sudden, the Gurkhas are guarding Buckingham Palace. This is huge, you guys. So I just want to state there's definitely something going down with the royal family at the moment. Now, the thing is, what I will say about it is, now, from what I can gather, the whole issue surrounding... Let me just try and pause this for a sec. Pause. There we go. Yeah, the whole issue surrounding the royals being implicated in the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. Now, what you have to understand is who they choose as acquaintances and friends is extremely important, okay? I mean, a Rockefeller literally, like, pointed at Prince Charles' chest. You've literally got to be a special kind of something to be able to point into the Prince of Wales' chest. Do you know what I mean? But they're acquaintances. We're talking Prince Charles being extremely close with Jimmy Savile, who is suspected to be the British version of Jeffrey Epstein. So Jeffrey Epstein procured girls, and then he used those girls to blackmail high-profile people, okay? So, for example, say if Bill Clinton... I mean, the speculation Bill Clinton was Epstein's puppet, but say if Bill Clinton wanted somebody to be compromised, you know, he would go to somebody like Epstein to then put this person into a compromising situation. Now, don't forget, remember, let's go back to when his Manhattan mansion was raided. They took out bags and bags of DVD discs, okay, computer data discs, CDs, okay, DVDs, and it's what was contained on those DVDs. Now, it's been, people have speculated that those are the discs that Epstein was using to blackmail people with. So you get people in compromising positions, usually with minors, and film it, take photos, things like that. And a lot of the time, these people who were being blackmailed either didn't realise it and were sick in the head, or they were forced into it. And when I say forced, their family threatened, their life even threatened. You know, I actually watched a testimony from a young girl on YouTube. I can't remember the name of the video, but I guess it's not hard to find. And she was actually one of the victims, and she witnessed somebody high profile being shoved into a room with a gun to his head, saying, right, you need to do this with that minor, or we're going to kill you. You do it, then you're all right, you live, and you can go back to work. But you have to be compromised because you have to be controlled. So it's this kind of thing. And the thing is, it's been speculated that Jimmy Savile was doing the exact same thing here in the UK. And that, you know, Savile had ties to Eaton House, where they were bringing in underage boys to use to compromise high profiles, okay? So you can research that for yourself as well. Don't think just because I'm talking about this in the way that I am that it doesn't bother me. It really does. I'm just trying to, very, very hard, mind you, to keep a level head with this sort of stuff, because it's about getting the truth out there. You know, I've had my moments where I've literally sat there after watching something with my head in my hands, crying my eyes out, praying like I've never prayed before. Because I've heard and seen some stuff that will give you the willies. Sidney Powell actually came out on a video and said the stuff that was found, that the NYPD found on Anthony Weiner's laptop, was enough to make a hard-ass NYPD officers vomit. So, again, this is a rabbit hole that you need a strong gut, but like I say, the only reason why this kind of stuff has been allowed to go on for as long as it has is because either people don't want to believe that it's really going on, or people think that because it doesn't directly affect them that they don't need to do anything. it's the level of ignorance that's allowed it to happen, okay? People don't, this is uncomfortable stuff. People don't want to talk about it. People don't want to even acknowledge that that level of evil goes on in this world. And what you need to understand is that's the mentality that allowed this to continue, okay? The sooner we actually acknowledge it and accept it, the sooner something can be done. How can police officers, investigators and prosecutors really take this on if even the public don't want to? There's no outrage in the public, okay? So I'm just highlighting the obvious there, you guys. A part of this awakening process is to actually accept the level of reality that we're really living in here, okay? You know, and if you're not going to do it for any other reason than this, then do it for the kids. You know, the kids that have to, let's just put it like this. 400,000 kids go missing in the US every year. 140,000 kids go missing in the UK every year. Why aren't it in the media? Why don't they want us to know that? I mean, the stats are on the government websites. They're there. Why are we not hearing what's happening to these kids? Why? Because the very people that were supposed to let us know about it are the people that's doing it, okay? As long as there's a number out there, then they think that as far as legality goes, they're covered. In actual fact, nobody's actually questioning this and questioning why we're not hearing more about this stuff, okay? Now, on the topic of the protest that's been going on, okay? Now, yes, that poor bloke, you know, at the end of the day, he did not have to die. And my heart goes out to him and his family, absolutely. Now, the backlash, these protests, it's been turned into a race matter. Now, under normal circumstances, if this was just a cop doing this, of course there should be, there should be outrage anyway. There should be outrage anyway. And the thing is, my issue with this is Black Lives Matter are actually doing a really, really good thing protesting it. You know, they're actually taking to the streets. They're actually trying to do peaceful protests. And the problem that we've got is they've been infiltrated by the likes of Antifa. And we know that it's Antifa because we've actually seen some compromising stuff that tells us it is Antifa that's done this. I'm just going to show you a couple of videos now, okay? Because like I say, the initial protests that went out with Black Lives Matter, you know, don't get me wrong, there were other races there that were just peacefully protesting. But the Antifa thugs are the ones that are creating fights and riots. I'm just going to say it. The peaceful protests have completely been hijacked here, okay? I'm just going to show you this one. I'm just going to say this. Those cops being attacked on the floor like that, if you can't get it through your thick head that it was not those particular cops that did that horrible thing to that man, you need to go in the corner and give your head a wobble and come off your high horse. I'm just going to say this out right now. I'm just going to put this out there. If you are one of those people that are protesting and attacking cops, you are a fucking dick. You're the lowest of the low. In fact, you're pond scum. You're the fucking amoeba. You're the lowest of the low. You're sick in the head. This is not about attacking, yeah, and tarring everybody with the same brush. This is about protesting the system, not the fucking bottom of the food chain that works for the cops at the bottom of the food. You need to think where these orders are coming from. Go higher, okay? And do you know what? Eventually, you're going to actually come to a little name called George Soros, okay? So let's think about this. The cop that did this to this poor guy, yeah, if you actually look at the picture, there was the police car just there, and the license plate actually read police. I don't know a single license plate in the UK or the US where the license plate reads police. I just want you guys to understand that I personally am not convinced that this was a police job. I think that this particular policeman that did this, in fact there was a group of them that did this wasn't just one. If you actually look at these images from a different angle, there's about 3 or 4 of them pinning that poor man down. Okay, I'm convinced that this entire thing, you can disagree with me if you really want to, but I'm convinced this entire thing was set up. And I work on, you know, energy as well, and I just, when I first saw this video, it didn't add up. It felt like someone was being sacrificed, if I'm perfectly honest. You can believe that or not, I'm not really interested, but the fact of the matter is, and let's deal with the facts now, the car was fake, the license plate was fake. Why would real police officers be near a police car with a license that's fake? Why? And I think that this is the thing, we need to ask more questions about this before we actually conclude on anything. So, this particular police officer has had numerous cases of what I would consider murder on different people. And he'd never been implicated. That tells me if he was a real police officer, he was being heavily protected. But I also think that this guy has ties to George Soros. So, in saying that, and I will do more digs on this to try and make better sense of it, okay? So, I've got something else here that I wanted to show you regarding Soros. So, this is a guy called Jeffrey Gutterman. I'm not entirely sure who he is, but he's got a tick, so it must be somebody important. Now, he put this replying to Donald Trump in the White House. He said, this is what I mean, I'm just trying to prove the point that Soros does fund far left extremist organisations and people. So he put this, said, I'm funded by Soros to help defeat Trump. I do not hide this at this time. Soros is expecting me to increase my follower count. You can help by following me. Together we will remove this maniac from the White House in January. Dumpers need not follow. Thank you. Oh, this guy's ridiculous. But my point is, we're seeing proof now that Soros is actually starting to recruit far left extremists, okay? Then we've got this, okay? I just want you to watch this because this is really important and it proves my point that the Black Lives Matter protests were peaceful protests, okay? And they were hijacked. So I just want you to just watch this, okay? Just watch it.
Now they circling. See them, look. I want you to know this is not. Don't police people's way of Let me tell you this. This is not a black woman who's putting Black Lives Matter. I just want you to know that when. Right, but y'all doing that for us, and we ain't asked you to do that. Listen, don't spray stuff on here when they gonna blame black people for this, and black people didn't do it. There's a black person. But we did. If we wanted you to do it, we would have asked. They not gonna show y'all faces when they see that on their building. They gonna blame that on us. Y'all are part of the problem. News come on, they gonna say we.
Listen, this is absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. That poor woman doesn't. I don't even think she realises exactly who she was just dealing with. They were, Antifa is like a military organisation. The thing is, the problem with it is they're getting fucking paid for it. They're getting frigging paid for it. Where is this thing that I wanted to show you? They're getting frigging paid for it, okay? Oh, here we go. Another thing to do with the Antifa protests. Now, isn't that, let me just pause it back on that shot. Let me just go back. Look, 1 minute.
Some random ass.
Look, right there. A random, and this wasn't the only one, by the way, you guys. There was, I've seen photos and videos of about 4 different piles of bricks, just like that were placed there the day before the protests. This was an orchestrated attack. This was an orchestrated attack, not only to put a bad name on Black Lives Matter, but also to actually cause some destruction. Now, Donald Trump had no choice. He had to put the National Guard in Michigan, okay? And yes, the National Guard are not the kind of team to mess about, okay? So if if you're living in Michigan right now and you don't do as you're told and stay in your houses, they are going to retaliate, okay? Because the National Guard are not trained, yes, to deal with emotion. They're not trained to deal with arguments, debates or questions, okay? They are there to do their job, and that is to clear the streets. It is as simple as that. They haven't got time to be arguing with you on your doorstep. They've only got time to clear the streets. So if they seem a little bit brutal in their efforts, you need to remember, these guys, they've got a real tough job on their hands. They are going to be taking on Antifa. That is what they're there for. Just, if you live in Michigan, just stay out of their way, do as you're told, okay? That is the best advice I can give you. You have to, the National Guard, don't get me wrong, it's not necessarily martial law, but the way that they are going to bring in this cleansing of the streets is through, I suppose, tactics that would seem like martial law. You have to stay out of their way, okay? And believe me, it's for your own safety. Antifa are extremely violent. And if you live in Michigan right now, and you know that you've got Antifa roaming your streets, you need to be extremely cautious and vigilant, okay? If you see something, say something and report it. These people are going to be reprimanded in a huge, huge way. So just bear that in mind. Right now, I need to show you something. I'm going to have to go to my Google Drive in order to bleed and pull it up. It's not ideal to... Just bear with me one moment, because I might actually be able to get it up on my phone for you guys, because I do need to show you this. It's actually quite shocking, if I'm perfectly honest. So where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Recent image. I'm gonna have to get it up on Google Drive. Let me just pause this. So it's alright, I've got private readings in Google Drive. Let me just pop a pause on this. Right, we're back, you guys. So it's this here. So somebody who's involved in the groups that I'm in actually sent this to us, and it just basically says they're trying to divide humanity further, black versus white. Do not feed into this. United is their greatest fear. And this is what you have to understand. People are pitted against each other. The racism isn't natural. Okay, it's taught, it's instigated, it's provoked, okay? Now, don't get me wrong, there are serious pieces of shit out there that are genuinely racist, okay? But again, you have to think of cognitive dissonance. A lot of people are brainwashed into thinking this sort of stuff. The problem with this whole thing going on in Michigan is that this was something that directly came from Soros, okay, and Antifa, and this is what you have to understand. These are division tactic groups, okay. These are people who infiltrate peaceful protests, and there is an agenda to make those peaceful protests look violent. So now, a lot of the Black Lives Matter and black community that are going to be fighting back against what happened to that poor guy, you know, by those police officers, or even if there were police officers, you know, he was murdered at the end of the day, and these are the protests to try and fight back. The problem is you've got the likes of Antifa that are going to come in and make you guys look absolutely thuggish and violent, and we know you're not. Those with half a brain know you're not. Those with half a brain know that you are fighting an awesome cause. You're fighting the best of the best kind of causes. And you guys are being infiltrated to look like something that you're not. So my heart really does go out to you all. And again, try to distance yourself from any of these Antifa thugs as much as you can, okay? And video it, call them out like that lady did. You know, if you see someone doing something that you know is wrong, you know, whether it's a part of the protest or not, if it looks wrong, if it looks dodgy, video it and call it out. seriously. So, you know, Antifa are paid by Soros. See the video where they're demanding to be paid from riots a few months back, which is on YouTube, and it's also on BitChute there as well. You can just put that that website into your browser and you'll find it. Greta said her fascist t-shirt was borrowed from a friend, but all of her family are pictured wearing them. George Soros funds Antifa are behind the riots. Greta is just a Soros pawn to play the young against the old in terms of climate. Now, I'm just going to show you this. So what does that look like? That's Antifa family. It is a card. It is a credit card. Okay? And then here, right here, we've got the disbursement of funds will occur in 3 stages. So, and it says here, do not report this as income to anybody. These are the payment sheets that were handed to Antifa. Look, it says here, approved practices, and it's sort of, this is what they were handed. This has come from George Soros and his buddies. This is what they were handed. It says here, you may not deviate from the practices in this section. And to be fair, it actually promotes fucking violence. And then, at the end of the day, you know, and look, we've got Greta here, and it says the true riot agenda. You can pause this and read that if you want. The thing, like I'm trying to say, this guy who sent this to us has basically shown you that these Antifa protesters are not there to help Black Lives Matter. They are not there for the good of that poor man who died. They are there to create division. They are there to make anybody peacefully protesting against this, they are there to make them look like thugs. Pile of bricks just randomly sat there, really. What a fucking coincidence. I'm so angry about this because while everybody in Michigan's actually trying to do the right thing, I'm so angry that they've been infiltrated in the way they are. And if anything, I'm really pleased that the National Guard have stepped in, because it's going to take a group like the National Guard to actually deal with Antifa. So when Trump's talking about declaring Antifa a terrorist organisation, which will make it easier for the police and the military to do their job and arrest these fuckers, don't go against him. Back him on that, because they are a terrorist organisation. And they are there to make you lot look like frigging idiots and thugs. Don't let it happen. Now, last but not least, I want to show you this. This is, look at the date right there. October 25th, 2019. Joe Biden tweets this. We are not prepared for a pandemic. Trump has rolled back progress President Obama and I made to strengthen global health security. We need leadership that builds public trust, focuses on threats, and mobilises the world to stop outbreaks before they reach our shores. Huh. October 25th, 2019. He's tweeting about pandemics and global health. The word knowingly springs to fucking mind. They knew. Just going to say it. They knew. They knew. I'm going to tell you right now, by the time this is over, and we're probably looking around August, September, October maybe, by the time this is over, it will not be Joe Biden against Donald Trump. It won't. Joe Biden was relying quite heavily on the black vote to be able to get him through. And, well, he kind of slipped up, didn't he, on that Breakfast Club? He really did. I think if you're not insulted by that, you should be. Whether you support Trump or not. This is somebody who's basically telling you, when he said, if you vote for Trump, you ain't black. I was so angry when I saw that, because there was just no need for those words to come out of his mouth. What I want to say to you all is, that is the most insulting thing I've ever heard in my life. I actually felt a surge of anger, and I try not to let myself get that wide up, but I did when I saw that. I did. You know, this is somebody who's, I mean, everybody should be concerned, whether you're black, white, Asian, you know, whatever. Everybody needs to be concerned at this point, because that was basically saying your skin colour has got to determine the way that you vote and the way that you think and the views that you have. And this is something that I am so strongly against. Again, and I put it in the promo vid, you know, about division tactics. That's what this is. This is divide and conquer. That's exactly what's going on here, okay? And I just want to warn you all, these attacks are going to start increasing the further along we go here, okay, towards the election. These attacks are going to start increasing. You can see so many protests being infiltrated, and it ruins the momentum of why and the reasons for why you protest in the first place. It ruins that. And this is just a simple case of knowing your true enemy at this point. This is about knowing your true enemy at this point. I do not recommend anybody approaches anybody from Antifa. They are extremely violent, and they are also extremely cunning. These are the people that have been trained, yeah, to provoke you to the point where it makes you look bad. This is projection tactics. They provoke you, you react, and you're the bad guy, okay? So don't even approach them. If they're doing something, film it. Just film it, okay? And get it out there. Get the truth out there. But yeah, I strongly suggest against approaching anybody suspected being from Antifa. And they're not hard to miss either. They're usually all in black, and they also wear the scarves, usually printed scarves around their face. And they look like, I know it sounds very stereotypical, but it's true. A lot of them look like misfits, young misfits, okay? So think of the odd crowd in high school, you know what I mean? It's crowds like that. Now, if you see somebody like that who's not doing anything wrong, you've no need to approach them. You've no need to do anything. It's if they're actually doing something wrong. If they're running around like crazy idiots, throwing bricks, spray painting, vandalising, anything like that, again, don't approach them, just film it. And this just doesn't go for Michigan, okay, because I've got a funny feeling we're going to start seeing protests a lot more widespread than that, and every single one of them more than likely is going to be infiltrated by Antifa. Just keep your wits about you, do the right thing, don't put your son in harm's way, and just sort of, you know, if you can get away with filming some of this stuff, then film it and get it out there. Let's get the truth out there. At the end of the day, like Q's been telling us, we are the news now, because we cannot rely on mainstream media to tell the damn truth, because what's coming out of the media from what Antifa's been doing is making the protests that are supposed to do good look bad. That's what's coming out of this. So when you can't rely on your mainstream media to tell the truth, then guess what? If you're in a position to tell the truth, then tell it, because it's getting to the stage now where a lot of people's lives are in danger, and this is just going to keep continuing and escalating and snowballing until enough of us get our head out of our arses and do the right thing. Okay? I'm going to have to leave that there, you guys, but Godspeed. I wish you all the best, and like I say, stay vigilant. See something, say something.